I don't trust it. I'm sorry, I don't trust this fight. Something about it tells me that it's going to be a major disappointment. It's going to be an absolute snooze fest. No one's going to knock each other out. Nothing's going to happen in the fight. Everyone's going to be gutted. Everyone's expecting the former Mike Tyson to come out and knock Jake Paul's head off. And as much as I would love to see that, I just think you're being unrealistic. It's not going to happen. The fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul has just been sanctioned as a professional boxing match. So all the videos I've been saying about it being an amateur fight, it's going to be a little bit of a glorified sparring fest. You could say I was wrong. It's now an official fight, meaning that this will go on their records. If Mike Tyson comes out and KOs Jake Paul, imagine that happening. It'll go on Mike Tyson's official record, a part of his legacy that he KO'd Jake Paul. But conversely, if Jake Paul comes out here and KOs a 57-year-old Mike Tyson who's got CTE and who can barely talk and who's been on mushrooms and weed the last 20 years, it's going to go on Jake Paul's record that he beat one of the best to ever do it. Wow, the reality is setting in. So let's go through some of the details dead quick. This is something big to consider. Mike Tyson's fight with Jake Paul has been sanctioned as a professional boxing match by the Texas authorities. It means it'll appear on their official records, but will be shorter than most pro fights, taking place over 8 2-minute rounds, which is something major to consider because Mike Tyson, being 57 years old, he's not going to have the same level of cardio that he used to have. Jake Paul also isn't exactly known for his cardio. And Jake Paul's coming into this fight over 200 pounds. We'll cover that in a minute. So I'm not angry at the 2-minute rounds, but I think this fight is going to be over before you'd even know it. I said it in one of the previous videos. You're going to see a few jabs, maybe 1 or 2 hard shots, and then the fight will be over and it'll be a decision. Guys, as much as I'd love this to be a knockout, it's not going to be a knockout. I don't even care if you clip me up and I'm completely wrong after this. I just can't see it. I don't trust it, I'm telling you. And they're going to be using 14-ounce gloves as opposed to 10-ounce gloves. Now, usually when you spar in 14s, 16s. Every now and then you'll get some divvy who'll come in with 10-ounce gloves or 8-ounce gloves, and you're like, what are you doing, lads? Get the friggin' 16s on, trying to knock people out in sparring. Once again, I'm not even really angry at that, because they can still get knockouts with the 14 ounces. And Mike Tyson is 57 as well, so I understand you've got to protect his head. There's also been speculation over the rules of the fight and whether it would have just been an exhibition match, given the age gap between 57-year-old Mike Tyson and 27-year-old Jake Paul. Mike Tyson is double Jake Paul's age. And let's get this straight right now, that is Jake Paul's biggest advantage. It doesn't matter who Mike Tyson was back in the day. Yeah, he was one of the most ruthless and vicious champions there's ever been, but it doesn't matter anymore. He's 57. He's spent the last decade smoking weed, getting fat, getting out of shape, not training, getting on magic mushrooms, falling asleep on his podcasts, and not to mention all the CTE and brain damage that's been kicking in. I really hope Jake Paul doesn't win this fight, because if he does, you know that he's going to be parading it around social media, and I mean, of course he should do. He's not just going to shut up about it and move on to his next fight. No, he's going to shout from the rooftops, I beat Mike Tyson. But there's no way that Jake comes out good from this fight. The only way that Jake Paul comes out good from this fight is if he loses and puts up a good fight. That's all I'm saying. Because if he wins, people are going to get on his back and going to slate him and say, oh, well done, you beat a 57-year-old Mike Tyson. If he loses by knockout, people are going to rip him forever. But if he has a war and still loses, then people will at least give him the respect, but only if he shows some heart. Just my opinion. Some have also raised health concerns with worries that Tyson's punching power could seriously injure his less experienced opponent. I'm not even worried about that. Jake Paul can take a punch. Mike Tyson is 57 years old. Let's talk about the health concerns of Mike Tyson. He had to get an ECG and an EKG, so they basically had to check his brain and check his heart to make sure he was able to fight. And this is something that everyone who is over 35 gets, so it's not exclusive to Mike Tyson. It's just basic precautions. But Mike Tyson has taken a lot of blows to the head, and he's 57. Take a shot for every time I mention Mike Tyson's age. You'll be bladdered by the end of this video. So the fact that Mike Tyson has double Jake Paul's age and he's taken a lot more shots over the years, they're the biggest things going against Tyson in this case. Massive, huge advantages for Jake Paul. Let's not understate that. Now look, here is Jake Paul with boxing legend Shane Mosley. Shane posted this. I saw Jake Paul this week and he said he's weighing 230 pounds. Look at Jake Paul's face. He's looking thicker than a snicker. You can see in his cheeks, his shoulders, his neck, his chest. even around his waist. He's a lot thicker now. He usually fights at 180, 183, 185 pounds. Oh, fake sneeze. This fight, it's looking like he's going to be fighting somewhere in the vicinity of 220, 230 pounds. I don't know if he's going to cut any of this weight. It's certainly going to affect his cardio, but with the rounds being a bit shorter, maybe not so much. We can also expect a bit more punching power from Jake. And look, I know his previous fights were against old, past their prime MMA legends, but he's still knocking out MMA legends. Okay, MMA legends who've taken a lot of shots over the career. MMA legends who no longer have a chin and who've got a little bit of brain damage themselves. But so is Mike Tyson. Now Jake Paul's going to be fighting this fight 50 pounds heavier than what he previously fought at against his oldest opponent yet. Oh my days. This is mad. And guys, look, don't be thinking that I'm on Jake Paul's side here. I'm just saying it's a little bit messed up. I really want Mike Tyson to come out and starch Jake Paul. Imagine how sick that'd be, Mike Tyson coming out with the head movement and then bang, crack, knocks Jake Paul down. I'll be going crazy. I can't wait to I'm going to watch it. Everyone's got Netflix. We can't lie here. We're all kind of looking forward to it, or at least intrigued. The curiosity is provoked. The promotion themselves actually released this statement right here. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul signed to fight each other with the desire to do so in a sanctioned professional fight that would have a definitive outcome. Over the past 6 weeks, we have worked with our partners to satisfy the requirements of the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations to sanction Tyson versus Paul. And then MVP Promotions put this up. Who wins and how? Paul versus Tyson. And here is everyone's votes. We got 21,000 votes, and 64% of those people are voting Mike Tyson by KO. Now, I believe the vast majority, I'd say 52% of that 64%, casual fans who would expect Mike Tyson to come out here and fight like his younger self. I don't think it's going to be Mike Tyson by KO. I know you say, don't speak in absolutes, Sean, and I'm actually not speaking in absolutes here because I really want Mike Tyson to get it done. I just don't see it going that way. And if, as you can see, I've put Jake Paul by decision. Controversial. I know it's controversial. I just think this fight's going to be over before it even gets started. I think it's going to be a bit boring. There might be a couple shots, decent shots landed here and there. But most of all, I think Jake is just going to be jabbing, moving backwards, then closing the distance and clinching up like the Tommy Fury and KSI fight. I don't mean to make comparisons here, but let's face it, that's what I think it's going to be like. And then before you know it, it's round 8 and nothing's really happened. Please be wrong. And once again, I don't mind my predictions aging like milk, especially when I want the other person to win. I've got my analyst hat on and I'm saying Jake Paul by boring decision. I take the analyst hat off and I put the fanboy hat on and I say Mike Tyson by vicious KO in the first or second round. When I'm watching this fight, I have no desire in being right. I'm going to take that analyst hat, I'm going to throw it out the window, and I'm going to put that fanboy hat on, have some crisps, have some chocolate, and I'm going to watch it with my fingers crossed in hope that Mike Tyson gets the KO. So to summarise, I've got my notes here. So it's no longer an amateur fight, it's a full professional fight. So that should mean, I say should mean because I don't trust this fight, but it should mean that there's no clause in the contracts preventing them from knocking each other out. Hopefully this fight will go on the records. It's 8 2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves, and no headgear. Remember that rumour was going around a month ago that they were going to wear headgear? This is 100% a regular boxing fight with modified rules. Hopefully we don't have some awful judges, because boxing can be bad for that. MMA is bad, but boxing can also, it has its moments. Come on, what do you guys think of these new rules? Do you think it's going to change the outcome of the fight at all? Out of these outcomes right here, what are you picking? Mike Tyson by KO, Jake Paul by KO, Mike Tyson by decision, or Jake Paul by decision? Comment your thoughts down below. Keep liking the videos. Make sure you subscribe for daily boxing and MMA videos. We upload every single day. You guys have been helping me out with the copyright strike on this channel. I've got a completely free physique course in the description down below. It's got 12 training programs in there, over 50 educational videos on training and nutrition. Go and check it out completely for free. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow.